scan. That is the topic of today's video. We're going to get right into it, going live, talking about the recent MRI accident that unfortunately is on everybody's minds and is causing people to wonder, are MRI scans really safe? Uh, are they qualified? Are MRI technologists qualified to take MRI scans because of this recent MRI accident? Now, I'm here to tell you, I have been an MRI technologist since I think 2006. I don't remember the exact date, but a very long time. I have been a MRI instructor. I've worked in various aspects of MRI. I'm a CT technologist, a radiology technologist. I personally have contracted other staff out to work for me. I understand working in outpatient centers, working in mobile MRI units, working in hospitals, teaching hospitals, trauma hospitals. These are all different situations that MRI technologists are going to find themselves in, and patients need to understand how to stay safe when getting an MRI scan. It is not rocket science, it's not hard. I'm going to make sure you understand the easy one, two, threes of staying safe while getting an MRI scan. And also, those of you out there may be interested in getting into MRI, moving over into that modality, or those of you in it that see some things that aren't very safe happening and you're afraid to speak up. And you're afraid to speak up because of fear of losing your job. So, in the comments, I would love to know what you all think, what questions you may have. I'm going to also I am so sorry, I hit the wrong button. There we go. I wanted to do a poll to get you all's opinions about this actual situation, but I don't know how to do that. So there we go. Start a poll. I'm going to ask this question. Has anyone had an MRI scan before? And if so, let me know. I'm going to start this poll because I want to know. Has anyone ever had an MRI scan? That's going to help this conversation go along. I'm going to put several polls in this video to get you guys' opinion because I want to answer these questions. So, number one is getting an MRI, how to get an MRI safely. Depending on what body part you may have, what I find is patients always get the MRI scan and CT scan confused. They are totally different. So I get patients that say, well, last time I got this same scan, I was able to wear all my clothes and I just slid my pants down. They were just doing my abdomen or they were just doing my chest. I didn't have to change everything except my underwear. That is one thing that tells me they're probably thinking about a CT scan because when I do CT scans, and I'm just scanning your belly, I need your zipper out of the way. So I just put a sheet across you and have you slide your pants down. CT scans use ionizing radiation. They look similar to an MRI, but they're actually not. They are, I'm going to put a picture up here to show you the difference. CT scans and MRIs are totally different. CT scans use ionizing radiation. MRIs use magnetic resonance imaging, which is a big magnet to get the images along with the molecules hydrogen in your body. Now, that makes a big difference because when you get a CAT scan, you don't have to change. I change people because sometimes people have bras on and trying to take your bra off and your shirt off, it's a big ordeal. Sometimes people have suspenders on and all kind of stuff, too many clothes. So I change them most of the time, but sometimes I don't. If you're just getting your sinuses done and your brain done, I don't need to change your clothes. So that confuses patients. But I promise you, when you go for an MRI and the MRI technologist asks you to change your clothes, it's for your safety. They want to make sure you have a safe MRI experience and a safe MRI scan. Yeah, definitely check out that poll. Has anyone had an MRI scan? I would love to know that question there. I got yes. I got a no. Okay, so no. Wow. Okay. So I maybe should explain what an MRI scan. I'll get to that. That is one of the reasons I explain to people the difference in MRI and CT because I get that all the time. Well, I didn't have to change for this last one. Now, they'll say that also. I actually just had someone tell me that. Well, I just got a scan here the other week and they didn't make me change. I was getting my left knee done, and that day I was doing the right knee on them. The other technologist didn't make them change. And you know what I said? I'm sorry that they did not follow the rules. but I am going to follow the rules and I have to make sure I keep you safe. Now, this was before this MRI recent accident happened. And I'm going to tell you the person's response was, at first they were like, oh, I really don't feel like it. But the reason I change people, even if you wind them down, is because people have different type of clothing on. Certain clothing is flammable. It has different fibers in it. Some of them warm up a lot more than others. And in MRI, you do not want the clothing warming up because it's directly touching the patient's skin. And that can cause burns. Not only are we concerned in MRI about projectiles, we are concerned about burning patients. Oh, great. Okay, so yes, 33% said yes, 67% said no, they have not had an MRI. Definitely check the poll out, you guys. Let me know have you had an MRI scan in the post? More people so far have said no. Wow, I'm really shocked. But this is an important point because at some point in your life, you or a loved one may need to have an MRI scan. And obviously, in this recent MRI accident, the gentleman did not know the dangers of MRI. Even though his wife said she had had others and he had gone with her before, he didn't fully understand. I'm going to get to that other issue of how we keep you safe during your MRI scan. The first one is we make you change. We explain to you it is totally different from the CT scan. The other way that I help people to understand is when they tell me, well, the last time I came to this same facility, the other technologist didn't make me change. And I apologize that person did not follow the rules. But as for me, I will follow the rules because I need you to be safe and I need my job. Two of those are very important. You want to be safe? I want my job. Uh, so, and I laugh about it with the person because they're kind of like not happy with me at this point. Like they're ready to like cut. No, I'm joking. They're not ready to duke it out with me. But sometimes I do get people ready to like buck up at me because I simply ask them to change. I'm going to tell you some of the things as MRI techs that we face from patients not wanting to change. They get really aggressive. I have had people get in my face and I've had to call security, all for changing, or refuse the exam, walk out, storm out, calling me every name in the book because I asked them to change. These are some of the things that we face. So, or I asked them to remove jewelry. Personally, I understand the whole MRI safety of ferrous magnetic things and non-ferrous metals. I am not here to give patients a science class. I am here to do their MRI. I do not have time to give you a science class on whether your ring or your necklace is MRI safe. It's just got to come off. That's how I keep you safe. That is how you safely get an MRI scan. The amount of people that come with so much jewelry. I did a YouTube shorts on, it was a kind of humorous one, but it was really true. I get a lot of people with a ring on every 10 of their fingers. 5 necklaces they hadn't taken off in 30 years. Earrings from here on down, piercings everywhere. And I've been asked to help them remove those piercings in many places. Yeah. If you watch one of my other videos, I tell you why I don't remove jewelry. I ask you to please have a family member remove it. I got stuck with someone's really dirty jewelry and it stuck me under my nail. And I had to go to the emergency room because it was getting, I thought, infected. It was just really nasty. And it stuck me as I was pulling the clasp. And it poked through my skin under that nail bed. You know how when you poke sometimes? Yeah. I don't take your jewelry off anymore. I don't take earrings out. I don't take necklaces off. You got to do it yourself or get another staff to do it. I could have lost my finger if it got infected. It was so bad. So, I don't let you in with any jewelry. My thing is, if you wasn't born with it, it's got to come off. It's got to come off. And if it can't come off, I need a radiologist to approve this particular piece of whatever it is can stay on. I like to, because ultimately the radiologist is responsible. So I'm running a poll down there. Has anyone had an MRI scan? I'm going to leave it up a little bit more, but it is really interesting. Most of you have said no. 75% so far said no. Now, I've worked at children's hospitals, adult hospitals, with geriatric, adult, and peds doing MRIs. One of the other things, how to have a safe MRI scan, is the team of people that work with you must understand how serious MRI scanning, the scanner is. And some places do not respect the scanner, the MRI scanner, or the MRI technologist. I've seen, especially outpatient centers, I've seen this at. Hospitals, not so much. I really have rarely worked at a hospital that does not have layers to their security back to their millions of dollar machines, because most hospitals have multiple MRI scanners. And they understand that if the amount of people that go through a hospital, if they just left it wide open, every hour someone would be stuck to a scanner. The amount of times people with an EVS, mops, brooms, want to clean an MRI unit, they're not allowed unless some hospitals have special EV services people that know how to clean the MRI room because they know which mop to bring in. It's the MRI safe mop, which broom to bring in. All of these things are important. That the people that work around your MRI department understand how safety works. Those are my 3 top things in how to have a safe MRI scan. Leave all your jewelry, leave everything home. Your scan is about 20 minutes. If you don't need to bring it, don't bring it. Don't get dressed up. Don't get fancy for your MRI scan. If you are coming from somewhere else with a lot of jewelry on, a lot of clothes, a lot of things, if you have, like we did police officers, we had a contract with a local county, and we would scan police officers. They would refuse to separate from their guns. And they were like, I'll just sit it in a room on the counter. No, you're not. No, you are not. Have you ever argued with a police officer over their gun? Oh my goodness. It gets very dicey, but it's necessary. And you can't back down, because if you let people pressure you into doing what you know is not safe, that's how people don't have safe MRI scans. So what we had at that facility, the police had to lock it up because they're not supposed to separate from their firearm, but they knew they had to come for the scan. They couldn't leave it in their car. They couldn't leave it with anybody. They couldn't lock it up with just a regular locker. So we had a supervisor that came that had a certain safe, and it was locked there. The police kept the key. And the supervisor held on to the safe with the gun. And once they were done, supervisor came back, gave them it back. They had the key. And that's how that worked. But that's what I'm telling you. Places that follow the rules, it's got to be the administration. It's got to be the other staff, and it's got to be the nurse. It's got to be people that respect. Sometimes you find in places that don't have those layers of security to their doors, then they're waiting on something to happen. And unfortunately, if this is, true that it was a mobile unit, I've worked in mobile units before. Nobody comes in there except the patient. There's no reason, whether I'm working in a mobile or inside the building, for your family to come back. Only time that I had no control over was one place that I've worked at. And they just didn't care. Like, they did not care. I got some stories on that. I'm trying not to do all that, but I got some stories on that. And I mean, it's a ticking time bomb. When you don't follow the rules of safety when it comes to MRI, you're going to have an MRI accident. And it's usually not going to be pretty. Don't cut corners by simple things as changing patients. Don't let patients scare you that they're going to get mad at you. They're not going to come back to your facility to get an MRI scan. If that stops somebody from coming to your place because you want to keep them safe and follow rules, unfortunately, that's probably not your type of clientele you want. You want people that value their health. They're going to come to a place that values them and values their safety and wants to create an atmosphere where everybody is protected and safe. And that goes beyond just the MRI technologist. That goes along with the management, the staff, making sure they support the MRI technologist when they say no family back here at all. And when I need moving help, I need the staff to come in who is screened. Again, the staff has to be screened as well to come and help me. So we got 70% said no, they've never had an MRI scan. 30% said yes. Wow, that is really interesting. So let me see some of these questions. Well, thank you. I try to look young. I feel like I am young. I was thinking about getting into rad tech because of your videos. After doing research in my state, it would be a tough sell. No schools here seem to offer it directly. It's a program hospital. So even if it's a hospital-based program, they're attached to a university. I'm not sure where you're at, but what you could do is go to arrt.org and go to that website, arrt.org, and you can search educational programs. And once you go to educational programs, you're going to search radiography. And once you search radiography, you're going to list the states. Choose your state. Those are all the JRCERT programs that are accredited, and they are available. Every state has one. And even the hospital-based programs, you'll come out with a degree. You have to have a degree program. Every state has at least one. Most states have a couple schools. Now, they may be private and some may be community college, but every state has a program. And thank you. Additionally, I tried to find, but all want me to do prereqs separately, then apply to the program to have a chance to get. Yeah, so they are JRCERT programs. So you have to do any program, any health program, any degree program, you have to have prereqs done. Private universities and private schools don't always require that, but they're not JRCERT most likely. They don't follow that curriculum, so they're not going to ask those things of you, which is going to kind of maybe set you up for not being able to get into certain jobs or work in different states without a JRCERT program. Not all, but some states require you to go to a JRCERT. Don't let the prereqs scare you. Even if you have to take one class a semester, do that. You don't have to take a full load. Don't give up on it. Don't let that scare you away. So let's see. We've got folks on here. Should I do another poll? I will. I got a question. Let me know what you guys think. That recent MRI accident that happened in New York where the gentleman, we don't know all the details, but he was sucked towards the machine because he had some type of necklace belt that had metal on it that was attracted to the MRI scanner. It was pulled to the scanner. He was unfortunately in critical condition for a while and succumbed to his injuries. Do you think that was avoidable? And if so, I'd love to hear in the comments what makes you think it was avoidable. And I'll tell you my opinion when it comes to accidents. I know people talk about having signs up in zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4. I'm going to tell you, most people don't read, period. People don't read. How many times have you gone to the airport and people are just walking all around looking with a ticket in their hand? They don't know what gate to go to. On their ticket is gate B6. They take the train that says A, B, C, D, E, F. And they can't figure out where they're supposed to get off, even though their ticket says B6. The train is alphabetical A, B, C, D, E, F. And it calls out in 7 languages and lists all the different other languages, 20 other languages, for them to know that the next stop is B. And they still ride all the way to F. And then they stop and get off and ask somebody, I don't know what gate I'm supposed to go to. People do not read. I promise you. Especially when they're stressed, they're panicky, people do not read. So all the signage in the world, I don't care how fancy it is not going to stop accidents. Unfortunately, patients, technologists, management do not follow the rules all the time. Several things get in the way. Being rushed, wanting to hurry up and get off, wanting to not get fussed at by the patient, not wanting to change, want to do good customer service, want to make more money. Those things get in the way of good customer care. Would you not say that? I work for the airport and I did Trump or Joe travel security. They don't read, not the pres-elect, but people in general. Yeah, people don't read. It, especially when they're in a rush and that people do not read. I'm telling y'all, you can have all the signage. I remember working at a place and we had a sign where the people sat down after we got them changed in the dressing room, before they had to open the locker, there was a sign that said, remove everything except your underwear. Like it literally said that. Remove everything except your underwear. Remove all jewelry. Lock everything up in this locker and take the key and have a seat. People would come out of there butt naked with the key. They come out of there with their clothes fully on with the key. They come out there with all their stuff on, sit down with the key. Hadn't locked one thing up, but they locked the locker. Like, I am not joking with you. And then when they sit down, there's another sign right in front of them as they're sitting there that says, remember to remove all jewelry, lock up cell phones, keys, any personal items in the locker. And they're sitting there with all that stuff. And I go around the corner to get them, and they're fully dressed with the locker key with all their stuff. Like, what? I don't want to leave it in the locker. Can I take this in with me? Do you not see the signs in there, in here? And the tech aide gave you directions to change. When I tell you there's no amount of signage that is going to make people see MRI is on. The magnet is always on. Do not enter. Do not enter. Caution. There is no amount of signage. I read over people's screening form. As I'm walking them back, I read over it and ask them the same questions they just checked. I have people to say, I checked out and I know, but I want to verbally hear. Because sometimes when people talk, when they fill out the screening form, they'll just go down and check no. They don't read. And I know they don't read. Because I brought people back and they check no to a pacemaker, no to a prosthetic leg. Bring them back. I ask them quick. Nope. Okay, well, just listen to me. No, everything no. They just ready to get the scan done. Get them in the room, get them undressed. I ask them again before I bring them back. Ask their date of birth, look at their armband, and they go, oh, wait, I do have a pacemaker. I have had that happen. I'm telling y'all, that has happened. Well, I got this thing called a defibrillator. You check no on here. I didn't know how to tell you. Like the stuff I could tell y'all that people do. Literally, I had someone with a prosthetic leg. They checked no on it. And I looked down, it had painted toes, but I noticed the one toes didn't move. So it kind of caught me off guard. They had the gown on. And the patient says, well, can I take this in with me? And I'm thinking, what you gonna take in with you? She said, my leg. I said, oh, no. I look up, I'm like, yeah, they check on there that you got a prosthetic leg. Like, y'all, I'm not making this stuff up. People can say no on this form. You got to ask them 2 and 3 times, 2 and 3 different ways to keep them safe during that MRI scan. I am not joking. Y'all think I'm just making this up to be talking. I'm not. And it's coming back to me as I'm talking. But this is true. And these are my experiences. I can't speak for anybody else, but these are my experiences. Like there are some things that I'm like, oh, somebody was really looking out for me to protect me from that one, because I would have never known. I mean, I've had patients with really old bullets in them, and they forgot they had them in them until I saw them. And I was like, what's that black thing? Everything black over there. Oh yeah, I got shot back in 1945. What? Like, I'm gonna have to slowly bring you out. This is not good. And you just can't yank people out. You have to slowly bring them out. Like, it's no joke. I'm telling y'all. Sorry, somebody pulling in front of my house. I don't know who it is. I don't know who that is. Like, they're stopping, pointing. They have the wrong house. Hold on 1 second. And while I'm checking on who this is pulling in my house, can y'all look at the poll? I see 5 votes. Who are you? No. Hold on. What you say? Who are you? I didn't personally order. Why are you delivered? Oh, okay. That was the weirdest thing. So somebody, that was really weird. Okay. I guess Walmart. I don't know what that was. But anyway, okay. Um, so I'm gonna end this. I gotta go, but let's see. Let's get this poll. Let's get this poll. Okay. So do you think yes, 100% said yes, it was avoidable. So that is pretty. I think it was too. I don't know all the details, but I just feel like it's avoidable. Certain protocols, not doing certain things, not allowing certain people back. If he wasn't back there, it would never happen. He would have never heard his wife screaming and ran in or been let in, whatever it was. So let's stay safe getting our MRIs. MRIs are safe and they're not unsafe. So just remember to get your MRI scan, be safe, follow the rules of the MRI technologist, and everything will be okay. Thank you guys for staying, and be sure to check out my other videos, my subscriptions, and everything like that, and you'll be fine.